Yeah. Oh my God.
We're back. Not episode 3.
Episode 3.
I kind of love it for us.
We're real. Like, episode 1 was like the launch. Episode 2 was like, okay, sure. But episode 3, I feel like it's cementing.
Exactly.
It's cementing us, which I love.
Exactly. I mean, I remember when everyone was starting a podcast during the pandemic. Why were people doing that? And I also just feel like I've said this in the past, and I realize it's not a nice thing to say, but like I do have autism, and like I do believe it to be true, and I just take a lot of pride in being honest. Not a lot of people are interesting or smart enough to be content creators, and I think we need to have that conversation.
Very true.
And it was definitely those people who are the ones selling out the podcast mics on Amazon, which is crazy because it's like, what are you going to sit and talk about for an hour?
But you know, the thing about like people who don't have the range is that they definitely think they have the range. You know what I
for
mean?
Sure.
Like they're like reciting tweets and they're just like, oh my God, that's so deep. Like, you know, the people who like repost the same tweet every week, like they rely on like the idiocy market to like keep things going for them.
Did you know a shrimp fried this rice and that depression and anxiety can cause memory loss?
Like, oh my God, I had no idea, actually.
Oh my God, thank you. I totally didn't see that 400 times. But yeah, the people who think that they have the range but actually don't have the range, they're definitely like the original delusional people. And I do kind of have to give them credit for that. Like maybe I could channel that more because they don't have it and they think that they have it. But we have it. And I sometimes doubt whether or not I have it, but I know that I have it. So I think I need to just channel like their level of like obliviousness and their level of confidence, you know?
A little delusion goes a long way.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what's going on with you this week?
It's been like a weird kind of energy this week. Like there's just too much happening with the stars. It was really nice and like pleasantly warm in New York for a couple weeks, and now it's getting humid again because we're getting rain again, and I'm not here for it. I feel sticky in my house. I take like 2 showers a day. Also, I do this thing every month that I've been doing since like May where I just don't smoke weed or drink the last week of the month to like keep myself accountable because addiction do be running in my family. And I didn't do it last month because I was hella stressed, and I decided to do it this week. And, you know, I have done more for this country than Joe Biden, than John F. Kennedy, than FDR. I really am stronger and braver than all of them. I think I should have a statue somewhere. Yeah. And life pro tip, if you ever need a week to go by really slowly, just decide that you're not going to do any of your vices that week. Because I'm like, what do you mean it's only fucking Tuesday night?
This has been a long-ass week.
No, literally, I'm like, why are the days dragging? Like, I went to work, Saturday, Sunday, was off yesterday, did some stuff, but like, I don't know, actually, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but like, it's giving March 2020 a little bit. Like, when is it gonna end? Yeah.
I'm dead. Oh my God.
Yes. Fola, how are you doing? I see you have your fresh braids done. I know that's right.
And they're tight, honey. They are tight. My braider because I'm in Florida on vacation, doing a little light fascism just for the week. Yeah, because I came down to like hang out with my parents, and I'm also seeing Beyonce tomorrow.
I know that's right. Right.
Yeah. So we went to my braider. This woman has been braiding my hair since I was like 5 years old. So she just like knows her way around my scalp. And it's just like but she's so strong. You know, like, you know how braiders have to be like a little buff in the hands? Like, she is so strong. She used to literally like fuck my shit up, and I had to tell her like, loosen up. And then she'll be like, oh, is this too tight? And I'm like, yeah.
Damn.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting all these texts. She'd be like, is this too tight? And I'd be like, yeah, but you know, like, it's for the slay. It's for the serve. Everything. Once again, I'm also stronger than the Marines. Like any girl who gets like braids and they braid like your edges and you kind of get a little mini like ponytail facelift, you are more important to this country than literally any soldier.
No,
And I'm telling you
agreed.
that from the bottom of my heart.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I'm in Florida. It's hot. But I'm inside all day.
Mhm.
Like just AC. Like we go from the car to the house and the house to the car. And that's it. And it's like, wow.
It's beautiful.
What a life. I feel like I'm so New York. I'm so New York City. Like this just isn't like my shit anymore. Oh my God. But I love being in Florida.
Mhm.
There's like the racist grocery stores that have really good fried chicken.
Okay, what about
no.
the grocery stores makes them racist?
Okay, one of them is called Publix.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Publix, the heiress of Publix sent buses of people to DC for January 6th. Like she, like when I say she's like a racist, when I say it's a racist grocery store, I'm not exaggerating. Like yeah.
Okay, you know what though? Roman Roy would do that.
Absolutely. And so it's like, my fictional baby girl, poor little Meow Meow, would do this. And so it's like, yeah, sure, I will eat their fried chicken and their cookies and, enjoy myself. Like, what can I do? I am in Florida, okay?
Yeah.
Every breath I take is like contrary to my existence. Like, it's just not good over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, still loving it, still being cool, still vibing. I'm kind of in this place where I don't know what it is about the whole Jeremy Allen White thing where he's like calling the paparazzi on himself, but like I feel like there's something in me that connected so deeply to that. Like I was like, wow.
He's real.
There's like, he's actually so real because yeah.
He's on strike. And
Exactly.
So he can't like work or promote anything, but he's like, I'm not finna lose these white boy of the month points because of y'all's little strike.
Never.
Actually, no.
He said, I am gonna walk around LA.
Exactly.
In little Daisy Dukes and no shirt. And I'm gonna show everyone my pussy.
Yeah, and make out with biracial models on the street.
Make out with biracial. Maya and I were talking about this literally a couple days ago. We were like, why is it that every couple of weeks, like a white man pops out with a mixed girl, and it's like, what do you gain? Because Taylor Russell and Harry Styles just like formally commenced their relationship. Yeah, and I'm like, what is there? And we were saying like, yeah, there's a spreadsheet of just like mixed girls for white men to just pick from when they need a little career boost. But yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the spreadsheet conversation because I'm not going to go into specifics on the pod, but Fola knows exactly what I'm talking about. Nakia, one of my friends, Nakia, if you're listening, hey girl, she and I have been joking since like spring. We're like, yeah, it's going to be a swirl summer. It's an interracial relationship summer, yada, yada, yada. Not because we're like, that kind of black girl, not like the middle part or box braid, like
not me sitting here with my middle part and box,
or like I think it's like the side part box braid. I don't know, but like that distinct box braid parting situation that indicates that you like date white men and it's a personality trait. Like we're not like that, but just because like Bridgerton or whatever. Or the Bridgerton, I don't keep up with the Shonda Rhimes cinematic universe anymore, but like I guess Queen Charlotte, I guess it's called, came out, and then The Bear was coming out. Like we're like, yeah, like it's kind of giving like just there was a lot of interracial propaganda in the media, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then today, I had the misfortune of finding out that one of my token white boys, who once again were not named on the pod because that one has to stay a secret,
never
popped out with a black girlfriend. And I'm going to say it felt worse than when my dad called me last year or the year before, whatever it was, to tell me that my grandma died. Okay? I literally fell to my knees, hand to my chest, hyperventilating. And it's just sick because it's like, me and Nakia are definitely single. Like, why are we being left out from our own agenda?
And you proclaimed it. Yeah, like that isn't fair.
Yeah, but that just goes to show the power of the tongue.
Absolutely. Manifesting. Yeah, the way that like this token white man has such a tight curl pattern. Like, I feel like there's something else going on.
Yeah. White people with 4C hair, like curl, like type 4 hair, they really fascinate me. I'm like, okay, cousin, like,
yeah.
do you want to do a hot oil treatment together?
Stop. Oh wait, was it you that sent me that video of the guy with like bright red hair and he was like, oh, I love my wash and goes? And it was like, he like went to a salon. I feel like I did not make this up, but it was like, he looked like Ice Spice, but he was a white man. But the curls were tight, honey. And he was like, yeah, I love when he was like, Bianca always slays my wash and goes. And I was like, excuse me? Your what? Your wash and go? As a white person, wash and go is literally just Tuesday morning. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Your wash and go? Is that not what y'all do all the time?
Why do they know wash and go? No, we need to, I don't know. I think segregation was a mistake, maybe.
Segregation?
Because wash and go, the curly girl method, wearing my natural hair, it's getting weird.
And the fact that a lot of the curly girls have to do an Olympic length of just like a triathlon of just, you wash the hair, then you got to put all this shit, all this product. I'm like, if you need like to weigh down your hair with a few pounds of whatever shea moisture to get that curl, babe, I've got news. It's actually just not for you.
And it's crazy because, like, we all know, like, for Black women, wash day is like it's a full day. Like, do not ask me to hang out. Do not call me on the cell phone. I will be in my shower trying not to pass out from the heat. You know what I mean? Like
taking breaks.
Right. So the fact that, like, we have a full wash day, but it's like, oh, but then their full wash day, it's very, very different. It's giving very much, we have a wash day at home. Like, it's very much not the same thing.
Like, I don't know. If you've never, like, almost fainted in your shower, I just can't. I don't know. If you've never been popped by a comb getting your hair done, you can't, like, do not tell me about your wash and go. Do not tell me, like,
Exactly.
Like, if you don't know the feeling of having your scalp braided, I'm sorry, like, you just don't tell me shit.
Yeah, if you don't know your way around the beauty supply store, if you wouldn't get followed around the beauty supply store,
wake that up. Wake that up. Because why am I your best customer and you're still worried about me stealing?
Right, like, I spend $50 in here every 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, and also, I know I can't steal in here because you're standing by the door.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember this, I guess I should just say we used to work together. This guy I used to work with, I asked him once, because I think I was like one of his first Black friends. He like grew up in downtown Manhattan. And yeah, so I just like, the way that like Black people, like white people ask Black people weird questions, like I would ask him weird questions sometimes. So one time I was like, have you ever been to a beauty supply store? Because there used to be one in downtown Manhattan where we worked, but it closed on Chambers Street. Ooh. And he was like, yeah, back one time when I was in high school, some girls that we were friends with dragged me and my friends to Sephora.
Excuse me? The beauty supply?
And I was like, oh,
no,
honey.
darling. That's not it at all.
I was like, I laughed for like 15 minutes. I was like, that is not a fucking beauty supply.
No.
If you can buy Laura Mercier powder there, it is not a fucking beauty supply store. Oh my God.
Right. Like, if there were not dollar lip glosses in the, I don't know, at the front of the beauty supply store, like, it's not the beauty supply. Or they'll be like, oh, I went to Sally's growing up. And it's just like,
Sally's is like one of the worst stores I've ever been into in my life.
The energy is like rancid. I don't know what they do in Sally's that just makes it like vile. Every time I've been in one, it's just like, get me out of here.
It just, something about the store has like, well, I like grew up in South Brooklyn with a lot of like Italian and Irish people. Mm-hmm. So I'm very familiar with that specific genre of like Irish, Italian, white woman, passive aggressive racism. Mm-hmm. And I do have a Sally, or we have Sally's in South Brooklyn, and every time I go in there, it just feels like I know your husband has a Blue Lives Matter sticker on the back of his Ford Explorer. I know that you're mean to your kid's black friend. I just know it. It's awful vibes in there.
Like, you don't let them stay over for dinner. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, so when's your mom picking you up?
I went there once for like a wig cap because I was having a wig emergency and I really needed a wig cap. And they were like, yeah, I actually don't know if we have any more here. And I was like, what are you, like, what type of beauty supply store is this?
It's not a
Oh my God. It's not.
It's a Sally's.
Yeah. It was so sick. I was like, then why are you here, Kalani? Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. Shout out to the beauty supply. I haven't been like in New York because I just kind of avoid dealing with my hair when I'm in the city.
That's real.
We need to go on a pilgrimage, I think, and I need to like face my fears of like getting my hair done. I need to get like a blowout.
Yes, there actually is. The beauty supply store I was referring to earlier on Chambers Street definitely closed. Like, I think like not too long after I started working in that area. But there is still one open in Fide on Fulton Street. So maybe I'll take you there one day and we'll make a day of it. It's a pretty decent beauty supply store too. So
I love that. Oh my God, a beauty supply in Fide? Interesting.
Yeah, and they like, I don't know how they stay open. But I used to go there on my lunch break when I worked in Fide.
Period.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Maybe we'll have a beauty supply adventure.
Yes.
Podcast.
We can take pictures like Beyonce did that one time.
Oh my God. With her like big chunky cornrows. Beyonce.
Oh my God.
I'm seeing her tomorrow.
Oh my God. I've been meaning to ask, what are we wearing? What song are we most excited to hear? Who are you going with? Give me the full details, please.
So I'm going with the Friendies, my friends from high school, which is really exciting because like we went to Formation in high school too, but we didn't go like together. But it was still really fun. Yeah, and we're going. My outfit, we'll see if it comes together the way I want it to. It's not super complicated, but it's just like, I think like the problem is like, I'm not a minimalist. I'm just lazy. So it's like, you know, I'm like, I had months to prepare an outfit and I started scrolling Amazon like a week ago. You know, I'm just not a very bright girl. But yeah, well, I don't know if you saw, but Beyonce, like the first night in Sweden played, was it Sweden? Yeah. The first night in Sweden, she did All Up in Your Mind. She did Thick. She did every song from Renaissance. And then she stopped doing All Up in Your Mind and Thick and Drunk in Love. You know, the Dubai riff. Yes. She stopped doing that. And she didn't do it for like the entire tour until last night. She did it in Atlanta for night 3. And the thing is, like, All Up in Your Mind is my, like that song. People don't like it, but I'm like, you don't have the lexicon to understand it. Like, if you don't like All Up in Your Mind, you actually just don't have, like, it's not for you. Like,
they don't have the
range for it. So she performed it last night in Atlanta. And I'm like, performing a song I was like, upset that I thought she wasn't going to performing it the night or the concert date before mine. Like, if she's playing with me, if she doesn't perform it, let me tell you, that high yeller, we're going to have some words, okay? Because like, that is so disrespectfful. If she does perform it though, I'll be like, wow, I love Beyonce. I love light-skinned people.
Also, Atlanta getting special treatment.
Right.
The place that all the strip clubs were still open during the pandemic. Where that basketball player escaped the Disney bubble to go to Atlanta to go get Magic City wings. That Atlanta.
Okay, I was trying to explain this to my friend that like the strip clubs have the best wings. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, like it's like a thing, like in
Yeah.
in Miami and Atlanta, like it's just like, you know, that like there are girls with just like stunning BBLs, and you know you can get a decent lemon pepper, and like that is yeah, that's amazing. And it's like, you know, I always joke about Atlanta. I'm like, you know, I can't go to Atlanta because I don't have a 40-inch middle part jet black bust down, and my lash is done, and I won't have my BBL healed in time to like be in Atlanta. Because it's like, yeah, if I go to Atlanta with box braids, they're not letting me in to anything.
No, they're gonna be like, what are you doing here, little girl?
I gotta at least get like a microlink or two. Yeah, and like nails done. I'm like, if I go to Atlanta, like I need to like spend like a year preparing for it. Like it's not okay, but like, yeah, I don't know. Beyonce is giving Atlanta special treatment. Like, I don't know, it just feels like discriminatory a little bit.
I agree.
Against the rest of us. But we'll see. We'll see if she acts correctly tomorrow. And it's like, why would Beyonce do anything special for Tampa? Like, who gives a fuck about Tampa? But, you know, here's hoping. We can wish.
Fingies crossed.
Fingies crossed. But yeah. That's about it.
All right. Should we dive into the topic of the episode
today? Let's leap in.
Back to school.
Back to school. When did the idea for like a back to school episode? I'm trying to think of when it was born, but I think it was like I think we were talking about how like school is weird and how there's always like weird shit that happened in school, and it's like, you know, August is getting to be that season again. Like, we might as well do a little episode. And because I feel like a lot of our followers are like in college or in high school, but it's like, if you're in high school, I don't know what to tell you. Like, please don't.
Like, if you're in high school and you're listening to us, like, hold on to your youth a little bit more. Enjoy being a teenager. Enjoy not having to pay bills. I was in the mall a couple weeks ago in Hollister, and I saw like 3 teenage girls walking in with like their little Auntie Anne's drinks or whatever. And I was like, I want to be you so bad. But also, I think I would rather die than be a teenager.
Go back to high school again? No.
Yeah.
Literally. It's like the, you know, the balance. But yeah, like I remember being in middle school and my mom would leave us at the mall and give me $10 and I'd spend all of it on a fucking Starbucks Frappuccino. And like, that was the life, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just feel like if you're like younger than 18, you know, go outside.
Go to the mall, get a little drink, look at stuff in Abercrombie.
Like, please.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
I love the vibe. Like, I just loved back to school, like growing up.
Literally same. It just like, it's such like a cozy, familiar feeling. And like, I was never thrilled about summer being over, but I love September. I love fall. Back to school shopping as an autistic tourist. That was like my game 6 of the NBA finals. Okay. Me and my mother was finna be running up the bag in Target. Okay. And that's for sure.
Yes. Oh my God. No. Well, I grew up in Florida, so fall didn't really exist. It just was like hot and then a little less hot. But and we'd start school in like August. So it wasn't really like, we didn't have that like fall September vibe, but it was still very much just like, I get to get a bunch of new shit.
Yes.
I get to get new clothes.
Yes.
I get to get a new binder that's going to be so fucking cunt. I get to get like the twistable colored pencils, and like I'm going to stunt, and like everyone's going to be like shaking and crying. Like, especially like elementary school days. Like, as you get older, it's like, you know, there's less pizzazz, I guess, but it's still just, there was still a lot of joy. And, you know, it's like you go away for summer and you don't miss people, but you miss people. You miss like the routine, I guess, the familiarity and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. It's also like, I feel, actually, yeah. So I grew up in South Brooklyn, you know, lifelong native New Yorker. And school here starts, it's typically like the first day after Labor Day, like the first Tuesday after Labor Day. Okay. And actually the reason that is, and yeah, so school starts the first Tuesday after Labor Day, typically, or like right after Labor Day. And then school ends like late June. But the reason that is because back in like the early, it might have been like the mid 20th century, the teachers union came together and reached an agreement with the public school system. And they agreed that they would let us have an extra week off from school in February. And that way the public school system would save on like heating costs during like the coldest part of winter in New York. And also the teachers would get an extra week off. So that's why the school dates are so different in New York. But yeah, I just feel like back to school, it was just like always like, it was an opportunity to like rebrand yourself. And it was really like, how am I, like, what, like, who am I going to be for the seventh grade?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really liked about it. I could like no consumerism, no TikTok girly, but like I could like buy new things in a new aesthetic. And it was like a rebrand, you know?
Absolutely. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just thinking like all like my first day of school, like outfits, the way that I would like, it was like meticulous. Like I remember my senior year of high school, first day I wore these like ripped jeans.
Yeah.
You know, like the Forever 21 type, like all the rips like all the way up the jean. And then I wore like one of those like t-shirt dresses and I had a slit down the side. Let me tell you.
Not this 2016 Kanye ass fit.
I was literally Yeezy. I was literally giving like fall winter 2016. Like, you know, I was just so I just thought I was like, I'm eating. I was like, you've never seen anyone serve like this. And then I go and like look at the pictures of me and I'm just like,
it never gave.
It was bad. It was really bad. But, you know, in the moment, I had the confidence. And I think that's what matters. But yeah. I love a good rebrand. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, feels nice.
I wore uniform for like most of my school career. I went to private pre-K, went to elementary school, public school. My first year of kindergarten, no uniform. 5-year-old me was gassed. I was going to get my little Kid City children's place fits off. Y'all was going to tell me nothing. Of course, a month before school starts, before first grade, they're like, actually, guys, we're giving you guys a uniform. So I had to do uniform from 1st to 5th, went to public middle school, no uniform. And that's when I really got into like my style era, I think. Like I was kind of just like, I was really trying to like find like my personal style, word to Ryan Finn, I guess. And I feel like my school fashion peak was definitely like the 8th grade. Like I was like, I was like, yeah, mom, I am going to wear skinny jeans actually. Cause my mom was anti-skinny jean for a minute. I don't know why. And I had my Hollister and my Gilly Hicks, and I had my North Face backpack. And I pulled up to my little public school and I was ready to shit on these bitches, really. Absolutely. And then I went to private Catholic high school for some reason. And honestly, like in real life now, I'm like, uniforms are kind of the shit because I don't want to think about putting together an outfit every day. I don't want to think about having to do laundry, to have like new clothes to wear every week. Like it's just a little bit too much work. So I might try to like re-implement the uniform back into my day-to-day life.
Yeah. I remember like I did uniforms. We had them in like elementary school and then in middle school for 2 years. Like so 6th grade there was a uniform and then 7th grade there was no uniform and then 8th grade they brought the uniform back and it was like, okay, like make up your mind.
No, why would they do that? That's sick.
Like we could only wear jeans on like Fridays. And so you had to wear like a like collared shirt on, it was like, you had to wear like a collared shirt on Monday through Thursday. And then Friday you could wear like your Friday like spirit shirt. And it was just like, you know, like I'm here to stunt. Like I'm wearing my fucking like apple bottom jeans.
Boots with the fur?
No, because it was, it's Central Florida. But still, you know, just like trying to like give. And then high school, that was like, so it's like kind of like reversed is our like experience because high school was when our uniforms like stopped. And I feel like I in high school was not serving cunt. Like I was not, and I was not interested in it. I had like 5 V-necks that I would just have in rotation. And then like
were they the Hollister V-necks?
No, they weren't even Hollister. Like, they were like J.C. Penney. Like, oh, honestly, my mom and I used to go to J.C. Penney and like fuck the aisles up. Like, we used to be like, in there, just
Mhm.
like, you know, just looking to serve. Like, it wasn't, but like looking back, I was like, dang, I kind of didn't care about clothes that much,
Mhm.
but I kind of did. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just like, I think what I wanted to like portray was that like I didn't really give a shit about how I
Mhm.
looked. I was just like, I'm just here.
Yeah, you're like, I'm an intellectual.
I'm an intellectual. I'm here. I'm a genius,
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like
and
every
yeah,
Gen Z girly goes through like the colorful V-neck short sleeve shirt phase.
absolutely. And it was like a colorful V-neck
Mm.
and then a harsh skinny jean. And like, okay.
The jeans were skinny.
They were
Fuck
skinny.
Blue Lives.
Oh my god. Yeah, but like the thing about me and just like the way my body is set up, I have incredibly long legs. People who like haven't seen me in real life probably don't believe me, but like yeah, I have kind of long legs, and so it was hard to buy jeans for myself growing up. So like the skinny jeans were not only skinny, but they were like cuffed at the bottom because I didn't want anyone to like know that they were high water. So I kind of
That's
like
real.
yeah. And I don't know what it was. I think I just like looking back, like the way my body was like shaped in school, like it was just like it was giving that fish from SpongeBob. I don't remember, or yeah, I don't know. It was just like not. It just wasn't. It wasn't like a serve. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I was like, this is high school. Like, this is not the time to like be worried about this stuff. But like,
Mhm.
I think with accessories, like that was very important to me. I had like a Hollister hoodie that cost me like $40. Like, I had to save up.
The Hollister hoodies did eat though.
Oh, down. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd have like, or like during the uniform times, like I'd have aunts that would go and buy like Tommy Hilfiger or like Ralph Lauren, like a little, what's it called? The collared shirts. And so it'd be like, oh, this is
Mhm.
my uniform color. Like I get to wear. And one year I had an Aeropostale, what was it? A little collared shirt. And I had this like lace, like V-neck or, the vest that I used to wear under the shirt.
Mhm.
Because I didn't wear a bra yet. Yeah. Shout out to the late bloomers. But yeah, I actually have trauma connected to that. Should we get into it?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. In middle school, in the 6th grade, we had to do a scoliosis test in gym. And I did not wear a bra because I did not have boobs because I was 11. And they were like, okay, in order to do the scoliosis test, like you have to take your shirt off and then bend over. And I was like, oh, well, like I'm wearing this little like tank top underneath my shirt. Like I don't have a bra. And so they had to take me to the back of the locker room and like make me like take off my like tank top thing and show them my back. And I was just like, oh my God, like why are we being so dramatic about this?
Right.
And then, okay, this was like second period. By lunchtime, they were calling me flat fola because I had no boobs.
Not flat fola.
Yeah. And like,
no.
let me tell you, that was like, like when something just like shapes you and just like you just feel your like frontal lobe just being like smushed in a certain way, like that. Oh my God.
That's sinister.
It was
all that
so
for a scoliosis test.
And it was like, okay, like honestly, why? First of all, why are people talking about the scoliosis test to other people? Because it was people I didn't even know coming up and being like, oh, hey, no boobs. Hey, flat fola. Like, just so mean. Oh my God. And yeah, like I could honestly talk about like me not having boobs for an hour, but that's not what the episode's about. But yeah, I love a little school trauma. I try to get through it with like my therapist, and she's like, "This is too much." she's like, "This is only 6th grade." I'm like, "Yeah."
I'll tell you a 6th grade story. So the day before Christmas break, we're in gym class. It's like towards the end of the day. So let's say like 6th period earliest. And we're in gym playing a game where you like you remember the little rolly scooters, like the colorful rolly scooters. And it was called like scooter ball. I think my gym teacher fucking made it up, but it was essentially like soccer, but you have to ride around on the little scooter to play it. So we're playing boys versus girls. The boys are getting too rough. There's this one kid in my class he's just being really aggressive. He's just always been like a really aggressive dude. And one of my friends at the time, like, I think after like gym ended or whatever, like we're all going to get our stuff. And then like we're all like complaining about how aggressive they were being. And then my friend confronts the guy and he's all upset or whatever. And then I guess he like pushed her or something. And then I bent down to go get my backpack and he pushed me in the back. So I punched him in the stomach and then he threw up. And then, yeah, in the trash can next to the door. And then, so we all like ran to art class. And then we're sitting in art class kind of just like high off the adrenaline because we had some drama in gym class, whatever. And then one by one, we start getting called to the principal's office because each grade had an assistant principal because I think our school was pretty big. So we get called to I get called to principal's office. She wants to know what happened. And why did me and the girls and the boy all get suspended from gym for 1 week? Which meant that we just had to sit on the bench during gym class. And like, I don't know, we had an assignment to do. Like they gave us a textbook from like 1994 and we're like, here's your assignment for the week. And we were like, okay. And we definitely did not do that shit. And then our gym teacher, he was a gym teacher. He didn't fucking care.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. Like your punch, like did you like wind up to like punch him in the stomach to make him throw up? Oh my God.
But yeah.
Were there ever like fights at your school? Because there were fights at mine. I loved fights at school.
I went to public school in New York City, so there were probably some fights in middle school, but I mostly repressed those years.
I love that. That's so
And then when I was in high school, these two girls got into a fight in like we had a really nice like art room because it was in like the new building of my school. Mm-hmm. And that's where the art room was. And these two girls got into a fight in the art room. There are definitely a couple tussles here and there, but like I can't think of like a standout fight, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of like good fights. I think Here's the thing. Middle school is when I also started watching Bad Girls Club and I was really like internalizing it.
Were you in a fight?
Oh, I almost got in a fight. Let me tell you the story. I love telling this story. I was in middle school. When I was in middle school, I played the oboe. And I was in band. Bitch. Yeah, I was oboe, double reeds, gang shit. But yeah, I was in band and like our school is like weirdly like indoor, outdoor, because like they're like, it's Florida, do whatever you want. Like build the school, like we don't give a fuck. I guess it's cool, yeah. But it was like, yeah, so we had like some hallways were like indoors and some of them were outdoors.
Wait, I was always so jealous of those. Like when I saw them on TV, I was like, that's so cunt that like their lockers are outside. I'm like, damn, that's great. If my locker was outside in fucking Brooklyn, are you kidding?
Oh my God.
Like just pigeon shit everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of crazy. I feel like it's like, oh, everyone's like nasty ass. Like if you have an outside locker, it's like, ew.
Really?
Disgusting. Yeah. Do you know like the fucking lizards and shit? the bugs.
Not the lizards.
That live. But yeah, okay. So when I was in 6th grade, so there were like the open hallways and then there were like the closed ones. And so when it would rain, like you'd go into like the covered hallways to like get to your classes on the other side of the school. So like it was raining and I went through the hall and there was a girl standing there, like on the other side of the door that I was trying to go through because my band class was like on the other end of that hallway. And so she's standing at the door. She's not moving. I like push the door on her. I'm like, hopefully she'll feel it and be like, move out of the way. She goes, why the fuck would you open the door on me? This is 6th grade. She goes, why the fuck would you try to open the door on me, you stupid bitch? I was like, oh. She was like, I know a bus you ride. She told me my bus number. She said, I'm going to beat your ass on the bus.
The bus number, bitch.
I was terrified.
Did you know this girl?
No, I mean, I knew, like, we were in middle school, so it was like, I knew her. I knew of her. Her name was Cameron with a K. She was terrifying.
Cameron with a K?
Cameron with a K, yeah. And she, like, I was boobless and she had boobs. And so I just felt like very intimidated by her. And yeah, but she was like, yeah, I'm going to beat your ass. And she told me my bus number. And I was like, oh my God, I'm fucked. And so I told my first of all, I went to band class and my hands are just shaking. Like my oboe is like not, like it's falling out of my hands. Like it's just like I'm just like I'm just having the worst time like in band class. Yeah, my hands are like sweaty. Like I can barely like hold on to the oboe. I'm like wiping my hands on my khakis every few minutes because I just can't keep up. And then we had gym class and I told my friends about the like dilemma. I was like, look, Kim with the K said she's gonna beat my ass on the bus. And they were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And I was like, they were like, yeah, like you can't like die. And I was like, okay, like what are we gonna do? And so they like we had like kind of like a Rocky like training montage in gym. And like one of the girls was like, oh, you just have to do like how they do on Bad Girls Club. And she was like, you just grab her ponytail, wrap it around your hand, and then just start wailing.
No fucking way.
And we were like, we would talk about it. We would be like, bah, 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 bah. And then, yeah. And then I went to like my next class, and that was like my like language arts class, but we didn't have a teacher for like the entire year. So we just would like hang out in class. And
Not y'all didn't have a teacher.
There was like a sub, but like she did not do shit.
Okay.
But then there was like, I was like telling everyone about the dilemma because I was like, you know, if I die, I want there to be like, you know, I want there to be people that know like exactly what happened. So I told them about the dilemma. Why did they start singing that song by P. Diddy? Every breath, every step I take.
Oh. Shut up. No, they're so sick for that.
They were like, they're like, you're dead. And then they started doing More Money, More Problems. And I was like, wow, you guys actually have an entire soundtrack for someone getting their ass beat. And you're proud of it. They're laughing at me.
They were really producing it like it was going to be a BET movie from the 90s.
Absolutely. So, okay, I get on the bus. I have my oboe. And I'm like, look, if she puts her hands on me, I'm just gonna hit her with my oboe, and that's that. She gets on the bus, she completely walks past me. Like she did not remember that she had to beat my ass. And I was like on guard for like a week after the fact. She just forgot. Like, how can you promise someone an ass whooping and then simply not follow through? Like, I was like, wow, like this is just, I don't know. Like, this is just kind of unprofessional. I like ran up the bleachers in gym. Like, I was in Rocky. And like, you can't like give me a little punch. Like, I was like, you know, I'd prepare.
Right. Also, talk about an empty threat. What a loser.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And the next year, I remember seeing a cell phone video of Kim with a K beating the shit out of some girl on a bus, but she transferred school. So she didn't go to my middle school. She went to another middle school. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. It's crazy because that could have been me.
No, you're like the billionaires that didn't go on the submersible. You're exactly. Like, damn, what a close call.
Damn. Oh my God. Not the submersible. Oh my God. But yeah, I have a lot of like little fun stories about middle school because I think I was like in it, I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And I want to die. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, haha, that was so funny. I'm going to talk about that on my podcast.
Yeah. Middle school was kind of lit, like in a weird, like funky way. Like I kind of wish I'd never seen 8th grade. I probably should watch that. But I would watch like a dramatic comedy about like a middle school. You know, I think that would be really fun. Maybe I'll write it.
Wait, have you seen Pen 15?
I don't think so.
Okay, Pen 15 is on Hulu. Do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
It's like about these two, they're like 30, but they dress up as like their teenage selves. And they're in middle school in like the year 2000. And it's like they're just like on AOL and they're just like disgusting. And it's just so funny. Oh my God, that is such a good middle school. You need to watch that. Oh my God, Maya. I can't believe you haven't seen that. Literally, one of the characters' names is Maya.
Okay, so
Maya Ishii Peters. And it's so good because it's like so funny, but then it's also like so like heart-wrenching. It just gets into like girlhood and stuff and how like weird it is to be a girl in middle school. And yeah, I really loved it. Oh my God, you have to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also like, I think middle school in New York is really interesting because that's when you start to like gain your independence a little bit from your parents. Like the girl I nanny for, she just turned 11. She's going to middle school in the fall, and I'm not going to be her babysitter anymore next year, just her brothers, because that's a lie, actually. I'll edit that out. I'm quitting, but they don't know yet. Oh. But yeah, I'm not going to be that little girl's babysitter next year because yeah, middle school is kind of like the point where New York City parents are like, you know what, you can like fend for yourself a little bit, you know? So, but when I was in middle school, my middle school had a bus program for sixth graders that would like, it had different routes that would stop by like elementary schools in South Brooklyn. So you could just go to your old elementary school in the morning and get picked up. But I started taking the bus by myself to school in the 7th grade. And like that was kind of like the shit. Like we all thought that we swore we were on Euphoria. We thought we were so grown, but it was kind of cunt because like my mom would drive me to the bus stop. I would meet up with like the same friends, and we would go get a bacon, egg, and cheese and the little bottle of Starbucks coffee from the bodega every morning. Why my mom was letting me eat a bacon, egg, and cheese every morning is crazy.
Like, was your stomach okay? I'm so sorry. Like a bacon, egg, and cheese and a Starbucks bottled Frappuccino.
And like that was a pretty, you know, like there were some kids who like, I'm thinking, I guess we'll get to that in a second, but like just like the freedom that you have to like get your own food in that way is nuts, because the stuff that we were eating was fucking crazy. Like there were kids that would go get like Chinese chicken wings and French fries covered in ketchup all the time. Like it was nuts. And then coming home was always fun because we would all like meet on the same bus stop, and like you would kind of just see the same people all the time. Like if you had friends that rode your route, you would go the same way or whatever. And it was just like fun. Like there was one day where I was like supposed to get off the bus at a certain stop, but me and my friends were having too good of a time. So I got off the bus like 5 stops later because I didn't want to leave them. And, you know, my mama didn't find out because she wasn't getting home till 6 o'clock. You know, I was just having a key on the B3 with my friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, it's like, it's interesting. Like people always make jokes that like, kids in New York that take themselves to school are like many adults. I'm like, no, that's true. Like that is for sure. Like me and the girlies were like walking up the block to go like study geometry, having talks like we were Carrie and Miranda in Sex and the City. Like it was serious business. I did really love it though. And it's like, I don't know, it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I took the yellow bus to school like until 11th grade, and then 12th grade I drove because I'm a POF and I had to drive on the highway, and my mom like followed me on the highway the first time I drove. And
wait, what's a POF?
Person of Florida.
Person of Florida. Okay.
But yeah, like, you know, I had to take the highway to school, and like we'd go to like Dunkin' Donuts, and I'd get like a big iced coffee. This is like pre-almond milk, oat milk. So like I would just have bubble guts. Like, oh. But I was like I have to like serve. Like I spent $4 on this iced coffee. Like I'm gonna drink it all.
The high school morning coffee was something serious.
Oh,
like there was because we would take the same bus line, and there was always like options of like stuff to eat. So there was a bunch of bodegas, there was a Subway, there was a Dunkin', there was like a really good Vietnamese place. And one day in the 7th grade, we discovered I like wasn't allowed to drink coffee. Allegedly, but I was drinking it anyway. We know that. But the Dunkin' by the bus stop was also a Baskin Robbins. And they had, you've probably heard of it, this drink called the Cappy Blast. It's like a cappuccino, but it's like kind of like mixed with ice cream, but it's like liquidy. It's like super sweet and so delicious, honestly.
That sounds so good.
So Savannah, who was like my bestie at the time, she got one. And then the thing is that we would take the bus pretty early. And then because my mom dropped to the bus stop, or like dropped me to the bus stop, we would take the bus, we'd get to school with enough time to like just hang out in like the schoolyard or the cafeteria till it was time to go to first period. Right. And Savannah pulled up to the schoolyard with a Cappy Blast one day, and she was like, y'all, everybody has to try this, whatever. It's so good, whatever. And then there was a day that she coordinated where everyone gave her $5. So she bought everyone a Cappy Blast. And we were like, it was like 7:30 in the morning, and we were walking to our public school carrying each 2 trays of Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins Cappy Blasts for everyone. It was insane, but it was so fucking funny.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've never heard of a Cappy Blast. Wow.
Yeah. I haven't had one since. I need to find my way to a Dunkin' Baskin Robbins and get one. For sure.
Yeah. Me too. Sounds fun.
Yes.
I'm not a big coffee girl, but I like the vibe.
What was your high school coffee order?
I'd get, what was it? Just Dunkin' like iced coffee, and I'd get liquid sugar. And I'd get like the like hazelnut one or whatever. I don't know. I would just like go up to the window and just like start yelling. But yeah, or like sometimes I do like French vanilla. Like it was, you know, it was just like a very simple. And then I'd get the little tater tots that they have at Dunkin'.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
But you're like, oh my God, you used to like go and like have adventures and stuff. Like it's from 7th grade on. Like my adventure year was senior year of high school. That was it. That was it. The rest was we're getting on the bus because I took 2 buses to school. Like there was like a transfer station, and so then they'd pick you up from your house. So they pick everyone up from the same neighborhood, and then they take you to the transfer station, and then you get on the bus to take you to school. So I did that from like 6th to 11th grade. It was the worst. Like I had to wake up at like 4 in the morning because the bus came at like 5:15. Yeah.
That is so crazy. Oh, I have a transportation story for you. So maybe you know this, maybe you don't, just because I don't imagine you don't hang around very many young people in New York.
No.
But every student in New York City, you get a student Metro card. It's a green Metro card.
Yeah,
you get 3 rides a day, and it includes your transfers. And first off, that student Metro card would fucking take you places if you timed your rides correctly. Let me fucking tell you, when I had the opportunity, I was going all types of places on my little student Metro card, and it works on holidays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it just didn't work on the weekends. It would just work Monday to Friday, and you got 3 rides a day for free.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So one day we're standing at the bus stop, and we're waiting to get on. And also, this was like, so New York City used to have like the Circle bus, which is like the very, very old bus. But right when I was in middle school, they started rolling out like the newer buses. Those are like the white kind of like, they're typically the ones you would see now, like riding around the city, like the plain white bus.
Yeah.
They started rolling those out. And sometimes we would literally sit on the bus stop for like 15 minutes shooting the shit and be like, yeah, we'll wait for a new bus. We'll wait for another bus. Just because like we were on the first stop and like, you know, we had time to kill to get to school, whatever.
Right.
So anyway, we're sitting on the bus stop. For whatever odd reason, we missed the first couple buses. We finally go to get on the next bus that's coming. It's dark outside, mind you. And the bus driver is like this older guy. He's got to be in like his early 60s, white guy. Can't tell you what ethnicity, just like a old Brooklyn white guy.
Yeah.
This kid tries to get on the bus, and he's like, oh, I don't have my Metro card. And the bus driver's like, and usually the bus drivers will let you on, but like they're like not supposed to. The bus driver's like, bro, I can't let you on. You don't have your Metro card, whatever. So for whatever reason, the kid turns around and starts walking down the steps to get off the bus. And he says, suck my dick to the bus driver. To which the bus driver, without missing a beat, goes, I don't eat shrimp. And he lets me and the girlies on the bus. And we laughed about it for the entire commute to school that day.
He ate that.
He chewed. That man is my hero, actually.
Good for him.
He's actually my hero. But yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other like school stuff that was like weird. Like, did you guys have like a teacher that like fucked a student? Because we did.
Absolutely. In fact, I was at a birthday dinner last week with my friend has like some of her friends. We went to high school together, but we weren't friends. We didn't really know each other. They were in the grade above me. Our gym teacher, he was like a really good looking guy. I'm not going to front. And he ended up leaving the school because he was moving upstate to become a corrections officer, which was the New York City Catholic school gym teacher to corrections officer pipeline is, I don't fucking know. And also, them niggas just be hiring anybody. I'm going to say it. And I can speak from experience. So anyway, I'm at this birthday dinner and we're talking about, because we had creeps in our school. We had teachers that were creepy, obviously. There was one teacher who he started there my sophomore year, and he had like a roster of girls that he started texting and messaging and DMing, trying to like date them, hook up with them, whatever, after they had graduated, which is fucking crazy. Like it's at least 10. Right. And then one of them brings up our gym teacher, and they're like, yeah, apparently back in the day, he got some senior girl pregnant and they fired him. And then they brought him back. And that's why he was still there when we got there.
Not the secret life of the American teenager asked.
Right. And to make things even worse, June 2020, all of us are having like this kind of collective reckoning. All of us like Black alumni are having this collective reckoning because we're like, actually, school, you guys were racist and we were left to fend for ourselves because everybody there was white and you guys suck. And this girl reveals that this girl who's Black, her friend who's also Black, her sister went to the school a couple years before us. And apparently the gym teacher said something to her along the lines of, I want to pop your chocolate cherry. And allegedly he propositioned her sister on our senior trip.
Oh my God. Bold with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to know more about the pregnancy, to be honest. Like, me and my bestie were talking about it, and she was like, did she keep the baby? I'm like, I need the baby, right? I need a New York Times expose on what that girl is up to right now, because I have some fucking questions, actually.
Right. You need to like interview her and be like,
yes.
Oh my God, so did he show up to the baby shower in a Burberry?
Oh, I'll tell you another story about him real quick. So I played lacrosse my junior and senior year, and lacrosse is a spring sport. We're off for spring break. I get my hair cornrowed just because I needed my hair done. I wanted my hair braided. And we had practice outside like 4 days that week. Fola, why did I get back to school? And this man was like, hey, did you go on vacation? He thought that I was on a fucking Royal Caribbean cruise drinking pina coladas.
Vacation hair.
He thought I was on a fucking Disney cruise getting my hair braided by some woman from the Caribbean for like $1 million. I was like, no, I just got my hair done and I had lacrosse practice, dude. Right. God.
As a Black person, cornrows.
Right.
That's
so at all times of the year, not just when we go to Punta Cana.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wait, you said you guys had like a racial reckoning in 2020. So did we, like my high school. Like one of my friends, we used to have a Facebook page for our high school. Like we would like post like, oh, there's going to be a quiz tomorrow, blah, 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 just like helping each other out. And one of my friends posted on it and she was like, hey, like, King was like racist as fuck. I went to King. Oh, maybe block that out. Our high school was like racist as fuck. Like it was just like, because my high school was very racist. It was like essentially segregated. Like I was in an IB program, but the IB program was like not inclusive of, so there was like IB and there was traditional. Like we'd call people who were not in IB traditional. Doesn't that sound horrifying? Because it's like they take the traditional route to graduation. And being an IB person, just like, teachers would just be like, oh, like you're an IB, like, da-da-da-da. Like they'd like treat you kind of better. But like as a Black person in IB, like they assumed that I was like in the traditional like thing, like up and like for a long time. So I had this English teacher who was a psychopath, and because she was my 11th grade English teacher, so she didn't know me until 11th grade. So 9th grade and 10th grade, she used to accuse me of like loitering in the hallways when I was just going to the bathroom. But I was just going to the bathroom and like just like a lot of weird stuff like that. And like, just like it was just racist. And so one of them was like, someone was like, oh, like our high school was racist as fuck, like, sign these petitions, da, da, da. And then the student body president was like, and here's the thing, okay, like leadership was all held by like people in IB. Like it was never like traditional students. And it's like, even though IB is like a minority, it's kind of like, we were like white people in South Africa in a way.
Shut up. I thought you were going to say it was like in episode 2 when we were talking about how all the journalists go to the same like 10 schools now.
No.
That's where I thought you were headed.
It was the minority majority type thing. But yeah. So like she was student body president, she was in the IB program, and it's like you're making decisions for like the entire student body and you don't know anything because you've only been in IB. No. But also speaking of, IB is so stupid.
Oh, it's so dumb.
If you don't have to.
Yeah.
I like looking back, I'm like, what the fuck? I was stressed out, like genuinely stressed and exhausted over bullshit. Don't do it. But yeah, so we were like, my friend was like, oh, this is like, school's been racist. Da, da, da. She was like, what do you guys mean? Like it was racist. And we were like, like just a lot of ways. And she was like, well, why didn't you guys say anything like when it was happening? And my friend was like, I literally went to the school board. And she was like, she was just like, oh, well, like, wow. She was just like saying, like, you know, you guys, like, we were all like, she's like, we were all in leadership positions. Like, you guys could have actually done something instead of just like lamenting about it like a bunch of years later. And it was just like, what is wrong with you? Like, so basically the entire, like, the 10 Black people that were like in my class, in my program, just like jumped her in the Facebook comments. Like, everybody was just being mean to her. And like, this girl like broke her leg. She ran cross country. She broke her leg in like 10th grade. She had to get like wheelchaired around. And my friend goes, that's why you broke your leg, you stupid bitch.
She was shorty in the scooter at the Target during June 2020.
He was like, I hope you break your other leg. Like, so we were just so mean. And it was like, you know, because like we're allowed to be mean and because it's like we don't go to school together anymore. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna unfollow me on Instagram?
You're gonna post about me on your private story on Snapchat, loser.
Oh no. I'm devastated. But yeah, that was funny. I love how everyone in high school, or like everyone who had a Facebook, was like, everyone in 2020 was like, oh yeah, this was racist. And then yeah, like just seeing how people reacted to that is like, okay, these are the people that I fuck with. Yeah. And these are the people that I don't. Yeah. But yeah. And then going to like an HBCU after that, crazy. Crazy. I was talking about it with my friend a couple days ago, and I was like, going to an HBCU will literally make you like a Black Panther. Like, they don't tell you that, but you, like, you got radicalized. I came out of like freshman year, and I was like a Black liberation, like, radical. Like, I was just fucking, because it's like, okay, my freshman year of college, or like, I took like a summer program thing before freshman year. So we took like African American studies, and it was like a shortened course, but we took like long days. Yeah. But it was like not like a full semester. And like the way they were just in there being like, they would, first of all, they were teaching us fucking hieroglyphs, like ancient Egyptian. Like, so they were like, like they're like, the African American Studies department at Howard is so funny. You know what's crazy? Nick Cannon went to Howard when I went to Howard.
He went to where?
He went to Howard. Yeah, he went to Howard. Like, I remember I had a class in the hallway, like in, you know, like the lecture hall, and it was after his class. And so I'd be sitting like waiting for my class to start, and then I'd see Nick Cannon, and he'd just look, and I'd be like I was like, not like, oh my God, Nick Cannon! Like, I was just like,
that is so
waiting for my English class.
Insane.
It was crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this is like pre him just like nutting in women relentlessly.
Can you imagine going to take like English 1000 and the father of Mariah Carey's children is just sitting next to you in class? Like, he's like, can I look at your syllabus? Like, and
he used to wear like a turban. I think he still kind of does that.
But I think he does that because he has lupus or something.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Nick Cannon. But yeah, I was talking about it, and I was like going to Howard, like, they will literally, even like the most conservative like Howard person that you know is still like Black Panther, like, you know, put that fist in the air. Because it's just like the way that they'll talk about shit, and it's just like things you never even thought about, and they're like telling you like kind of like borderline, like, you know, like pseudoscience stuff. Like, some of them would start talking about like, what's his name, Dr. Sebi, and I was like, oh, I think we need to like back away from that. But like, you know, we would do like, you know, I don't know, it was just talking about like just like social issues and like how, like, you know, it was just very important. And I was like, wow, like this experience just like made me like very like affirmed in my Blackness, you know? Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful.
It was really lovely, but sometimes it sucked. Like, I used to be like I loved Howard, but I also hated Howard at the exact same time, because it was like, you go to Howard, you go to an HBCU, and you're like, oh, no more racism. I go to school with all Black people. Baby. Classism fills that slot up right there. Colorism, all the other isms, they're just like, oh yeah, well, we got rid of one, so let's fill the vacuum, you know? Like, this is like pre-Shein. But I feel like it was like if you were not like eating, like you're out, like if you didn't have like a new like cunty outfit, like at the beginning of every semester, and this is also pre-Telfar, so it was like, you
Ooh,
know,
okay.
we're kind of just like, and I always see like they have like Telfar days on campus, and it makes me want to weep. I think it's so cute, but yeah, it was just like very like elitist, like, you know, like the Jack and Jill people. No shade to the Jack and Jill girlies, but just like a little shade.
Yep.
Yeah, and just like, so it was like, okay, like I like go around and like meet people, or I'd like go to like little parties or whatever, and or like to my friends' houses and I'd like meet their friends, and like sometimes they would like look me up and down and like just not even speak to me, and it was like
Oh, that's
damn.
fucking weird.
It was so weird.
They were
It was so
rehearsing for
weird.
the Rock Nation brunch.
Yeah, and I was like, it's like, I don't know, it was just like, it was weird, and it was just like squinting, but I try not to like let that overshadow how much fun I had, because you know, like at graduation, when they sang the national anthem, like we all sat down, and then they sang "Lift Every Voice and Sing," and we all stood up,
I know,
and it
that's
was like,
right.
yeah, power to the people, and you know, Kamala Harris is a former Howard grad. She's
My
also an
sister.
AKA. And I wish I could see the archival footage of Kamala Harris like strolling, because my God, I'd pay a lot to see her.
I know she was the baddest bitch on that campus.
Absolutely. Oh, and she had like one of those like short, you know, like the shortcuts with like a little bang that like all the black girls were doing in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that she ended up at HBCU with that exact haircut, despite having a non-black mom, that's so beautiful to me. I really do love that for her.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
love that. Yeah, shout out to Kamala. I was so
Oh,
mad that she
Harris.
like didn't come to our graduation. You were like, what the fuck, bitch? Like we just spent all this time getting you, like you genuinely were not like a good presidential candidate, and yet you're still vice president of the whole United States. You couldn't
Right.
come down the block because it was in DC. You couldn't come down the street.
She can have taken the Uber. Yeah, that's nasty.
Like,
what was she doing?
Uber.
Do you know what she was doing and why she couldn't get to graduation?
Laughing. She was getting her fucking perm retouched.
She was getting her silk press.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Queenie. College. I will say I also went to a college that has a very famous presidential nominee, alumni, Bernie V. Sanders. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you ate me up with that.
He came to campus one time. I feel like I went to school for another year somewhere else at first, because this is a funny story, but not funny story. I didn't get into any colleges my senior year because neither of my parents went to college. My brother did not graduate high school. My sister went to trade school. I was basically left to my own devices in regards to applying to college. And the guidance counselor, I feel like school guidance counselors are like, they're like the stepdads of schools. Like they're just useless and annoying. And I think Bernie Sanders came to campus the one year that I wasn't there.
Damn. Ugh.
That's my king. Go Bulldogs.
The billionaires. Billionaires and the trillionaires. Oh my God, I love Bernie Sanders.
I would love to watch him just like point at people and yell on Brooklyn College campus. That would make my heart sing.
I think Bernie Sanders should have like if like a Bernie Sanders podcast, or just like Bernie Sanders like just like walking about.
I think he should go back and teach at Brooklyn College.
Oh my God.
I would love that.
I love him.
Mm-hmm. But also like a Bernie Sanders, like kind of like how Fran Lebowitz has her show, but like Bernie Sanders. Like I see the vision.
Yeah, where he's just like, oh fuck, I hate this shit. Like, yeah, I love Fran Lebowitz too. Oh my God, shout out to New York.
She's mother.
But yeah,
what are you gonna say about your parents?
Oh, what was I gonna say about my parents?
Bernie Sanders.
They would make fun of me for voting for Bernie Sanders, but I was the only person who is a registered Democrat in our house. So I was the only person who could vote in the primary. So I was like, oh, well, you're laughing, but the only vote in this household in the primaries is going toward Bernard. So suck my dick.
I know, that's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, socialism. Wait, I was like, I have it on here. Like, did you have any like, okay, we've talked about school scandals.
Mhm.
Like, we talked about like teachers who fuck students. Our teacher who fucked a student was like the year before I started my high school, but it was like, one of those like school trips that they take you to like Europe or whatever.
Yeah.
He was like the AP Euro teacher, and he basically like started like hooking up with this girl on the Europe trip, and then he would like pose as her friend's dad and pick her up from her house, and like they would hook up. It was mad. Absolutely
That
mad.
is nasty work.
And
that
the
is like
teachers-
Law and Order SVU work.
It's insane. And then the teachers would like they would like talk about it, and they'd be like, oh, it's like it's a shame that like stuff like that has to happen, and then like people have to lose their entire careers over. And I was like, over something like this, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's a shame
over fucking a student. Yeah, that's how it should go. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, maybe we don't need male teachers.
Get rid of them.
No, they need to go back to building.
All my male teachers. I had horrible male teachers. I had one male teacher who would bring like Panera bagels to class, and he'd be like, only girls could eat the bagels. He wouldn't give them to the boys. And I was like, I'm glad I have a little puss, because I love those. I'm in.
That's not what you can do for the patriarchy, but what the patriarchy can do for you.
Exactly.
Oh, another teacher fucking student story. My school, we had like a principal, an assistant principal, and a dean in my high school. And the dean, when I got there my freshman year, was this one guy whose name I won't say. And the streets are saying that he ended up getting married to a girl who was a student while he was the dean.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
We need an investigation.
We do. And also, like, I'm not like victim blaming here. Obviously, like, that's disgusting. But like, my question is, when I hear about this stuff, like, it's awful, it's terrible, whatever. Where are these girls' dads? Because where are these girls' families to beat these men up? Because I just feel like they wouldn't be acting like that as like frequently if they knew that they could get the hands put on them at any moment. Because why are you fucking around with somebody who was like your student? That is fucking insane. You need
Bring our men back.
you need to, I don't even know. You need to be like taken behind a barn and shot, actually. Because why are you doing that?
Damn. Okay, I have one more scandal. I have one more student scandal. It was a Valentine's Day thing. It didn't have anything to do with teachers. It was a Valentine's Day thing. Our freshman year of high school, it was Valentine's Day, and this guy gets up because there was like a microphone in case anyone had to make announcements. And so he got on the microphone, he had his guitar, and he was like, oh, and he said this girl's name, and he was like, can you come to the front? And she was like, okay. And she came to the front, and he started singing Hey There, Delilah, I think. Oh, it's what you do. Yeah. He sang that. And it was like, oh my God, like we were all like, oh my God, we're so jealous. That's crazy. Like they're just singing to her because she was like super pretty and stuff.
Yeah.
Turns out there's because all the other students, like freshmen, were like, oh, that's so cute. Aw. And then everyone else was just like looking. And so it turns out the tradition was like to sing to like the sluttiest freshman. Because it's like they don't know that like this is like happening. So everybody thinks it's like a good thing, and then it's actually like being really mean. And they did that every year.
That is disgusting and nefarious.
It was so bad, but it was kind of Gossip Girl.
Also, speaking of predators in schools, the senior boys that dated freshman girls, y'all are also going to prison, actually. I'm going to air his shit out on here. There was a boy in my grade who was Black. And of course, we all know that Black boys love to have their I hate Black women phase in high school.
Always.
Or maybe, actually, no, it wasn't just my school. Yeah. And he would go flirt with like the young white freshman girls. And I'm like, okay, well, her dad is definitely going to call you a porch monkey if he sees that you're texting her and Snapchatting her. So I would maybe keep Black women's name out of your fucking mouth. And it's so crazy to me because like the Black guys who hated Black women in our school would then go around to try to flirt with the freshman girls, the white freshman girls.
It's nasty work.
You guys are disgusting, actually. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We had a freshman that dated a senior. It was really bad, apparently. I'm like, Eric, let's switch out. Her name started with an A,
Mhm.
and this guy, like, apparently she didn't want to, like, have sex, like, with her vagina, so they had anal sex, and her name became, like, anal, like, Ashley. That's not her real name, but it was like everyone would call her, like, and then it'd be like, oh, which Ashley are we talking about? And then it'd be like, oh, anal. And, like, and it was like he was a senior and she was a freshman. It was so vile.
Damn.
Shout out to her, though.
Yeah. Also, like, no tinfoil cap. Actually, tinfoil cap on. The fact that teenage boys at 17 or 18 have the wherewithal to be like, I should definitely hook up with a freshman girl because she's dumb and doesn't know anything.
Absolutely.
Is sinister. We have to destroy the patriarchy immediately but also they can think that critically then, but don't know how to wash their own asses, don't know how to cook, don't know how to do fucking laundry, don't know how to clean, but you know how to finesse your way into some freshman pussy.
Right.
Bring our men back.
Bring our men back. We need to get like a button, like a soundboard.
I'm gonna find out how to make it because we need it. We need it.
Just slam the button. Okay. Oh, the letter. We have our like our listener.
Yes, we have a listener contribution. Our very first one. Let me pull her up. All right, so just like moving forward, we like won't say people's names just in case, like we want to protect people's privacy and respect that unless they say otherwise. But this listener write-in is from a friend of the pod. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
She wrote, do I want to give her a name? I mean, she is the only one that wrote it. So
yeah, she knows who she is.
Yeah, she knows who she is. Okay, so she says, the first day of school when you work in education, at least for me, is absolute hell. I started working during COVID, and then this year, they tried to put everything back to normal, and it was overstimulating for the kids and for me. 200 children screaming in a cafeteria and adults yelling at each other across the room, trying to figure out who the fuck is John and what classes he belonged to. Actual hell, I'm not looking forward to it.
Damn.
Yeah. Shout out to all my teachers.
Shout out to
I don't know if you have any. I don't know if we have, besides.
Like an applause button.
I'm going to make us a soundboard. How about that? Let's Black women in tech.
Yeah. Shout out to the teachers, though. Yo, don't
shout out to teachers. We love teachers. You guys should be making $1 billion a year.
$1 million a year.
And getting all of the resources. Shout out to Abbott Elementary, you know. But yeah, like, I'm really sorry to hear that like you're having that experience. And it like something that I've been talking about a lot with other people, and especially as a nanny, is that like the way the kids are acting now because of the pandemic is like really concerning. And it's like, I think we're finally starting to like see the effects in real time. Mm-hmm. And like, I just think that we need to like collectively recognize that we can't just go back to the way that things were, because that was never efficient in the first place. Yeah. And we really need to just all meet each other where we're at in order to make things smooth for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Like, I remember like seeing how the like parents and like students were really impacted, especially like younger kids. But like, I didn't really think about the like reversion and how like jarring that must have been. But like, yeah, damn, even for the kids and for the teachers, because like you go from sitting in front of your computer all day to like having to like physically watch over children.
Yeah.
Sounds like so much. Like literally every teacher is braver than the Marines, braver than the Navy, all the like,
it's like the Marines are on the bottom, we are in the middle, and then the teachers are
on the top. You deserve the Dodge Camaro or whatever the fuck. What's the car that they get?
The Dodge Charger or the Camaro.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes, thank you for your letter. We appreciate it.
Good luck.
Yes. Good luck.
Good vibes,
sister.
Sending good energy your way.
Love it, hate it, as we all know, is what we do at the end of the episodes. We talk about things we're loving and hating that week, because Fola and I love and hate lots of things. But that's going to stay the same, but we're giving it a cute, cunty little nickname. We're calling it the Weekly Brief moving forward. So get ready for the Weekly Brief. Yeah. And once I figure out how to edit it in, I'm going to put like a news sound in there. I think that'll be fun. Okay. Fola, do you want to start us off for the weekly brief?
Sure. Let me start with my hates. Because let's, end on a good note.
Yes, I agree.
I was at the airport. I came back to Florida for this little vacation I'm doing. And I just want to say, useless husbands. I hate you.
Literally.
There's nothing more vile in my life than seeing a mother wrangle children at the airport and the dad is sitting there holding carry-ons. Yes, okay, holding the stuff is an important job, but you're watching this woman try to give the kid a go-go squeeze so that he doesn't scream anymore, and then the other one is just she just needs the Wi-Fi password on the iPad, and it's you're sitting on your phone playing Candy Crush. And your wife is literally a Navy SEAL. She is fighting these children in an airport at LaGuardia.
Right. And LaGuardia fucking sucks. We all know that.
Yeah.
And the airport is already a stressful experience when you're an adult. And just when we eventually get to our our useless men, fuck the patriarchy episode, we'll definitely talk more about it. But men who are useless are just so they just infuriate me so bad. Why are you here? Read the room. Do something to make her life a little bit easier. And also
Jesus, grab one of the children and hold one of the children.
And then they're always and when you you point that out to them, they're oh well, I didn't know how to help. And it's why don't you use your eyes and your ears and that thing in your skull called your brain and think about what you can do to make the situation better for the woman that pushed your children out of her vagina.
Right. And it's never I think that's never a thought is how can I make this other person's life easier? It's
right.
It's always how can I optimize for me? And it's never you have sex with a woman, you nut in her, she pushes out a watermelon 9 months later, and you feel no desire to be wow, I should be helpful. This, there's someone outside of me who really needs me right now, and I'm just gonna be a bitch and call people on my cell phone instead of just all he had to do was hold the kid, and one of the kids is just running around and he's just oh, I just to sit with the carry-ons. I was like, okay, in when I run America, I think women should be allowed to kill their husbands every once in a while.
You know what? I fully agree. I fully support that. And I will say, adding on to that, the reason we're getting all these all this content now about women, typically straight white women on TikTok complaining about their useless husbands. People on Reddit, very lovely women on Reddit having to go on Reddit and ask for validation for how they're feeling in their marriage is because women don't kill their husbands anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I think we need to bring it back because also I'm really tired of consuming that content and having to hear the discourse about it. But also I think the best thing to do with a useless man is to put him in the ground. Honestly, if you're not going to do anything helpful, why are you here? You're literally sitting here like a fucking sack of flour, taking up the air, taking up our already limited resources.
Vile.
And the fact that they need their wife to tell them how to help them. It's you guys, and it's because they're not socialized to have empathy or to think about other people or to just be critical and have emotional intelligence in any way. So once again, shout out to the patriarchy.
Shout out to the patriarchy.
Shout out to her.
But you know who's not a useless husband? Jeremy Allen White, because he was holding one of those children and she hung out with Hillary Duff. What's the baby's name again? Dolores. I almost said Deborah.
Deborah. Nah, that baby was literally born during the pandemic probably. And they're we should name her. They're they're in the hospital wearing their masks and their face shields. And they're what, we should name this baby?
Yeah.
Dolores.
They were not, they looked at the child and they were I hate you. What?
Oh my God.
Shout out to Dolores.
How do I talk about this in a way without exposing that I'm quitting my nannying job? Anyway, I was talking to this 4-year-old boy and I was asking him how his day was. And he was telling me, he's talking to me and trying to tell me in his 4-year-old voice what's happening. He's oh, I went with Baba and Iowa to the park. And then we went to lunch and we had pasta. And then his mom is translating for me and he's yeah, he has a friend named Barbara. and her brother's name is Ira. I said not these I work in HR ass names. Oh my God.
Hey, Barb. Why is she 54 years old?
No, literally.
She's a child.
Also, they were 4 years old going on a lunch date. I was like, yeah.
I love New York City.
Oh my goodness.
Another hate that just like spawned in the last few days is TikTok race science. I texted Maya about it. I just need to know like what the fuck is going on. Like, it's so crazy to me how every few weeks there's like a new filter to just be like, oh, let's do phrenology. Let's talk about why, you know, you have an evil nose because like, let's be anti-Semitic and da, 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 da. And I'm just like, why is no one like, why is nothing sinking? Like, why aren't we like, why does this make sense to so many people? Like, why don't people hear this and go, ew, I don't like that. Like,
okay,
you know?
I'm going to circle back to the beginning of the episode. Do you know who loves the fuck out of those filters? And it was like, what shaped skull do you have? The people who lack self-awareness and think they're smart enough to start a podcast.
Very true.
The local girlies, if you will.
Very true.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what do I look like with this? Or like the people who were like taking the aged filter like very seriously, and they were like, oh my God, like I need to get like all this plastic surgery. I'm gonna look like shit when I'm old. And I'm like, well, you don't know that because you're not old. And it's just like, it's because like some dermatologist on TikTok was like, yeah, you are gonna look like shit. It's like, yeah, of course your dermatologist is gonna want to make you think that you need to like do preventative care and all that stuff. But yeah,
tinfoil cap.
Like,
oh, I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
No. I was gonna say, I feel like I don't know. A lot of people are like taking TikTok like too seriously. I thought we were on it to like kiki.
Right.
People are like forming ideologies around shit. It's kind of
it's weird. It's really nasty and weird. But what I just wanted to add on to that is that tinfoil cap. I think that like the skincare industry or the sunscreen industry dropped that filter onto TikTok, the way that Ronald Reagan put crack in the black neighborhoods. Because now everyone's like, I need to get Botox, I need to wear my sunscreen, I need my retinoids, and I'm like, this doesn't feel coincidental. Yeah. I know Cetaphil, Neutrogena, whoever is hitting a lick off of this, for sure.
They're cackling in their offices. I think, and it's just like, people are like, oh, preventative Botox, like this, and it's like, we literally have seen like reasons why preventative Botox doesn't fucking work. And yet, like, you guys are still trying to like make it happen. Like, look at Kylie Jenner. She's what, 26? And she looks old. Like, the Botox did not prevent anything. Right. She looks a smooth 38. And like, not saying that 38 isn't like cunt, but it's like, you're 26, you know?
Right.
Like, just let your face do what it's gonna do. Like, why not have a smile line? Why not be like, yeah, I smiled so much in my life that my face started to crease. The muscles and skin on my face was like, you know what? You know, it'd be easy if we just fold it into this position forever. Like, I can't wait to see what I look like when I'm old. Also, I think it's maybe because I love my mom and my mom's super cunt and we look very similar. So I'm like, yeah, like I want to see, because I look like my mom right now. And I'm like, I'm going to look like her when I'm old. And okay, on top of that, you know, as a generation, like we drink a lot more water than our parents did. We wear sunscreen. We are like very more skincare conscious. So it's just like, why do you think that like you're gonna look like shit when you're like comparing yourself to people who were just like drinking like soda pop like it's water? Like
they had lead poisoning for Christ's sake.
Right. They were literally eating lead chips off the floor. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna age like George Clooney. Like, no, you're not. Right. You don't know this man, you know? You're gonna let a filter tell you what to do. But yeah, I just honestly, it's like every week I'm just like, I hate TikTok. And I continue to get on the app and give it my energy. But it's fine. Like, okay. Oh.
It's scary on there because like people really will just like accept any information that is fed to them without thinking critically about like, is this true? Should I do more research on this? Does this person have an ulterior motive as to why they would spread this information? Is this person perhaps just talking out of their ass and they don't know what they're talking about? Like they don't know how to like take that in. That's why the girlies are all talking about fucking preventative Botox now, even though we all know that Botox, like, it dissolves in a couple of years.
Exactly.
You know, if you do one Google search, you would find out that Botox dissolves in a couple of years. But, and we'll probably do this in another episode, nobody wants to think anymore. No, everybody just wants information hand delivered to their front door.
And nobody wants crazy.
It's really scary, actually.
It's like, I don't know. Like, there's joy in not knowing something and then digging and then finding out the thing. Like, I don't know when we just decided that was, like, not fun. But, like, okay, I posted about a documentary and someone in my comment was like, oh, I can't watch long videos. Like, can you just tell me what it's about? The video is 30 minutes long. And like, I'm supposed to get in my comments and like type a synopsis. No, go watch the fucking video. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and how are you gonna say I'm not good at watching videos? I could have offered you an academic text and I could have said, read this thing. First of all, no one would have done it. But secondly, like, I've given you something in video form. I know that you can absorb this with your little pea brain, not to be rude, but yeah. And you're like, oh, I can't watch a video. Can you explain it? I like the way you explain things. Shut up.
And it's like, also, why do people feel comfortable demanding labor from people they don't know on the internet?
Wake that up. Because I feel that, like, very much. And it's just like, no one pays me.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I wore a Tony Soprano shirt in one of my videos and it kind of went big and a lot of people were like, oh my God, where'd you get the shirt? And I was like, Google Tony Soprano shirt.
Period.
They were like, drop the link. I was like, Google Tony Soprano shirt. I swear on everything, it's there.
Literally.
Like, I Googled Tony Soprano shirt and that's how I found the shirt. Why can't you? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I feel like
so insane.
I was listening to like Ryan Finn talk about like personal style and stuff and how people just want to copy things and don't want to like understand like why they like a thing or why something is interesting to them. And it just was like, yeah, it's just like, I love that Ryan Finn like has that brain, but like
my autistic queen,
the way that like no one else gets it, or like a lot of people just don't get it and refuse to get it, it's devastating and just really sad. And it hurts.
Yeah, I might have to homeschool my kids because I'm not trying to have my kids in class with y'all's kids. Right. When y'all are on here believing that Jada Pinkett Smith was going to play fucking Rapunzel. Because of like I want my kids to be in class with your kids. I think not, actually. They will be in my brownstone doing Montessori work on their MacBook.
Absolutely. Doing Kumon. Shout out to Kumon. Shout out to Kumon. I did not do Kumon, but I was kind of upset that I didn't because I thought those folders were so cunt. Anyway, let's move on to loves. I have here that I love getting my hair braided. Here's the thing. It's kind of a love-hate because like I was complaining about earlier, like getting your hair braided, you're sitting for a very long time, your head hurts, your neck is stiff after the fact. But then like today I was like looking in the mirror and I was like, why am I just like serving like mother quake off the like cunt Richter scale or whatever the fuck the tweet says? Like why am I so pretty right now? Like my skin looks amazing and my hair is down to I like cashing my hair to my ass. Formally, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. And so yeah, I really love doing that. And I love that part of my life. Oh, also, there's a documentary, another love that I have is there's this documentary called Fire of Love on Hulu. It's about these two volcanologists, I guess. They study volcanoes and they're married and they basically just like go around and like look for like volcanoes and like they go to eruptions and stuff. So it's like eventually they die, but it's still like it's like
was it sad? Really, like
I mean, like, because it's like the movie opens and it's like, oh, this is their last day, like this, but it's like it goes like through.
Did they die going to a volcano?
Yeah, they died on a volcano, and they're both Aries. I went and looked them up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, are they fire signs? Yeah, they're both little Aries, and Oh my God, it was just like so crazy. They died in a volcano. And like they show like a shot of the documentary is just like this is the last like footage of them together. And it's just them standing and like just looking at each other. And like the way it's just like a really beautiful documentary. And it shows like it's just showing like volcanoes and like I was never a big volcano girl, but I'm like, wow, this is just so much fun to like watch and like, just getting to like look at Earth and be like, wow, Earth is so big and she's just screaming and she's, just lava sometimes, just like spitting that shit out. Like I love her. And I love being a little human being and like I don't know. I just really like that documentary. I watched it this morning and I was like texting what's his face and I was like, hey, I was like, I watched this documentary. It was so good. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And he was like, oh.
Well, I will be tuning in because you definitely sold me on it. And like,
yeah,
that sounds so cute that they have
it was so cute.
Stop. Not them dying in a volcano. Oh my God.
And they were like, if we died, they were like, I don't fear anything. Like, I just like, I fear being without my like person. Like they were talking about like, that's the one thing. Like if they died, they like wanted to die together. And they did. It was so cute. But it was like, oh my God, it was so good. Sorry. I'm gushing. It was such a good documentary. That's
you should.
Loves.
It sounds so good.
It was so good.
Yeah. Let me run and grab my computer charger and then I'll do my stuff.
Chill. Damn. An hour and 40 minutes. We're like, our episodes are only going to be an hour long. We just can't shut the fuck up.
Honestly, I kind of love it for us.
I love it.
I'm glad that I have my background blurred because number one, my room is a disaster, but it's kind of always a disaster. But number two, you would have had to see me do like my school secretary walk to go get my charger. Oh my goodness.
You know what? I wouldn't have been mad at
it. Wait, why is it not charging? That's annoying. And then my charger's been like, I had like a weird charger switch. The one that I got with this computer broke. And then this one, like you have to like plug it in a certain way. I don't fucking know. Hold on. Like it probably just means that my computer has to get fixed, but I think I would rather do this than go to the Apple store. There we go. Yeah. All right. So my hates this week. I had so many like little hates this week just because that's who I am as a person. I'm an Aries moon. I will say the most prominent one because we have been recording for almost 2 hours. And I don't want to bore you. I could ramble, I don't want to bore you all.
Go.
Elon Musk, I need you to nuke the fuck out of Twitter immediately. I'm getting really fed up with what is happening on there lately. Everyone is annoying. Everyone is irritating. Let me give you some things from Twitter that bothered me this week. Pretty privileged discourse for the 300,000th time. Should we throw a party? Should we invite Bella Hadid? You guys are describing misogyny. You guys are not. They're all like, everybody hates me and I'm more subject to violence because I'm just so beautiful. And it's like, no, you're subject to violence because you're a woman and we live in the patriarchy. And women who are not conventionally attractive actually suffer more because they're not taken seriously. People rely on the fact that like they aren't pretty enough to like be assaulted and things like that. And I'm just tired of it. I'm just so tired. It just feels like a underhanded brag. And it's like, I'm tired of the discourse. It's every 2 weeks at this point that it's like, it's pretty privileged. Pretty women have it so hard. They get used for their bodies. And it's like unconventionally attractive women get used for their bodies as well. Unconventionally attractive women are treated like objects as well. I really don't know what to tell you. You guys are describing an experience that most women have. Don't know what to tell you.
The ones that are like always writing paragraphs about pretty privilege, like you go on their account and it's like, not to bring women down, but are you really giving like extraordinarily pretty? No.
Right.
A lot of you are just light skinned. Talk about that.
And thin. And it's just like, I would respect it more as a conversation because I think there's definitely a conversation to be had about how like beautiful women like experience things because of like their harm and stuff like that, but none of them are intelligent enough to actually carry on a conversation about it. They just want pity points because they're like, my life is so hard, I have to put on my realization par dress and get objectified at the bar. Too many men want to buy me an amaretto sour. Oh my god. And it's like, none of you guys are saying fucking anything interesting. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Number 2 on my Twitter hate list this week, Lupita Nyong'o as Princess... I almost said Princess Diana. Lupita Nyong'o as Princess Tiana. I think everyone needs to log off and go spend an hour outside in the park because, number 1, Lupita Nyong'o is like 40 years old. My sister, love her down. Princess Tiana was not about to go through menopause when she opened up that fucking restaurant. Okay? And Lupita Nyong'o isn't even American. And Princess Tiana is an American princess. Exactly. So maybe we should it's like, also, y'all need to maybe like watch more movies and things, because why, when y'all think of like a black woman actress who is above a Fenty 400, you're like,
it's only Lupita.
It's only Lupita Nyong'o. And it's like, there are definitely better options out there. Also, so the age thing is kind of an important factor there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing? Oh my God.
I'm Number just 3, all the talented dark-skinned girls that can sing.
Iowa Debris as Princess Tiana.
Oh. But technically, Iowa's like not American either.
I think she was born in America.
She's Nigerian Bahamian. Like, I feel like we need like an America person. Yeah, she's born in America, but I don't know. Maybe that's my controversial opinion. You know, I'm just like,
I think that's fair. Fair. It also would be an opportunity to give an American dark-skinned woman the role of a lifetime. But yes, please keep casting the biracial Justice League, Zendaya, Amanda Stenberg, and Yara Shahidi. Please continue. But yeah, all that to say, my last point. White men mansplaining the Hawaiian economy to indigenous Hawaiian people. I saw that this morning, was fucking crazy, because this person, they were an indigenous Hawaiian person. They were just expressing like they're upset about like the wildfires in Maui and stuff, and like how it's a lot of like billionaires' fault and all that jazz. And explaining that, like, you know, tourism doesn't actually benefit the Hawaiian economy the way that everyone seems to think that it does. It actually hurts the economy a lot more. And some nigga that looked like his name was Jake is talking about, well, blah, 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 blah. It's dishonest to say that tourism doesn't benefit the island of Hawaii. You live in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, or wherever the fuck Carbondale is. Why are you on Twitter.com explaining to a native Hawaiian person how their economy works? I am so sick at white supremacy for empowering white men to think that they know everything all the time and that their opinions are important and matter all the fucking time. They need to learn how to shut the fuck up. And frankly, we were not meant to have access to so many people's opinions online. It's really scary. I don't like it. It's unnatural. And frankly, my nervous system should not be activated by the elementary school social studies opinions of somebody whose paths I will never cross in real life. Right. Okay, there's a reason why schools divide up their students by intelligences sometimes. Okay, my middle school had like a top tier gifted and talented program. They had a mid tier gifted and talented program. They had a lower tier gifted and talented program, and then I think they had like a regular program. All right, and I very much enjoyed being amongst my intellectual equals. Okay, let's bring that back. Okay, because now I have to be on Twitter mad every single day, and I'm really sick of it. Yeah, literally. Anyway, my loves this week. I was out at the bar with my girlies for one of my friends' birthdays last week. And like every young New York girl, I wanted a drunk slice after the bar. And the pizzeria around the corner was closed at 10 p.m. We used to be a proper city.
Money? Do you not like having a business? Like, what the fuck? Pizza places shouldn't
in
open
Williamsburg.
Pizza places shouldn't open till 10 p.m. If we're gonna be real.
Y'all, it's like the girlies are just getting to the bar at 9, and y'all are doing closing shift activities, mopping the floors and shit at 9:30. Does that not sound insane to you guys? We used to be a proper city.
Country.
We used to be a proper and a proper city. Whew. But anyway, because the pizzeria was closed, which was a bummer, I ended up at this 24-hour bagel shop and I got a drunk bagel instead. A toasted whole wheat everything with scallion cream cheese.
Ooh.
That shit was gas. I don't know if it's because I had like 4 drinks that night and it was like 2:30 in the morning, but that shit was gas. And I will be keeping that in mind next time I'm at that bar. Because sometimes you need like a late night bagel. You know what I mean? Like it really did hit the spot, you know?
I never really think about bagels. I mean, I don't think anyone thinks about bagels as late night food, but wow. Like you've kind of changed my like perception. Because honestly, like a salt bagel after getting like really fucked up with like a little jalapeno cream cheese. Yeah. Like I feel like that would cure me. Wow.
It was excellent, I'm afraid. My last love was, I'm catching up on How I Met Your Father on Hulu. It's pretty excellent, I fear. It's great. The cast is diverse. The writing's really good. It's really funny. And I feel like it really captures like the young New York experience in a way that doesn't feel like corny or inauthentic, which is something I'm really like, I don't want to say sensitive, but I think that's something that I have like, I'm more aware of as a native New Yorker and as a TV girly. But yeah, I feel like it really captures it in a way that feels real and authentic. And like, you can tell that the writers in the room are like really smart, funny people. And I do think it would be getting the attention it deserves if we still had network television and it was on network television the way How I Met Your Mother was. But I think I'm just going to have to keep campaigning for it. And I want the Emmy for my good sister, Hilary Duff. So
she needs it.
She does, I'm
because
afraid.
she was robbed just off of the Lizzie McGuire show not being developed, because I know she would have given the performance of a lifetime. But that's fine. Oh yeah, and like Kim Cattrall's in it, isn't she? She's like the older Hilary Duff. That's crazy. I never watched How I Met Your Mother. I just was like, this many white people, I just don't like. I don't feel it. But shout out to the people who love it. But yeah, you you put me on. I might have to go check it out.
Yeah. I liked How I Met Your Mother, but it's definitely up there as far as like, it's definitely on my top 10 list. But it's not something that I'm like, it's not like something that I'm telling people they have to watch. You know what I mean? Like, and you can watch, there are definitely like references and like they allude to the original in the show, but it's not enough that you wouldn't be able to understand it, which I think is really good for a reboot or like a spinoff or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I love that. Shout out to Hilary Duff. I think I talked about Hilary Duff like 6 times in this one single episode. Like, I
met Hilary Duff. Did I tell you that? Yeah. I worked on a pier in Tribeca. This will come up a lot because I worked on a pier in Tribeca, Pier 25. If you know, you know. There's a mini golf course. There's an ice cream store. There's a beach volleyball court. I ran the fucking ice cream store like it was the Navy. Maybe we'll do a job episode. And my second year there, when I was like 17 or 18, is like my senior year of high school, Hilary Duff rolls up with her kid and her friend and her friend's kid. And I took a picture with her. So I'll send it to you later. Yeah.
Oh my God.
2 queens maximizing their joint sleigh. And then my coworker who I made take the picture was my manager, who was like 60 or 70 years old. And he had no idea who she was. And I was like, nigga, that's Hilary Duff.
Was his hand like shaking?
I was like, Joe, can you take a picture of me and Hilary Duff? And then afterwards, he was like, who is that? And I was like, who is that? It's Disney royalty.
President of the United States. Like, what are you talking about?
The Queen of Rome. Hello.
Oh, I love Miss Hillary. Maybe we should have a Hilary Duff episode.
Let's jot it down.
I don't know. It'd be like 20 minutes long, but still. Well, actually, I think we'd find a way to talk about it.
Yeah. All right, peeps. I think we're ready to wrap this up. You know, but another podcast episode in the books.
In the books.
Thanks for joining us. You know.
Hurrah.
We'll see you soon. You know, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Leave us a rating on Spotify. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at mayaandfolapod. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.